China's electric vehicle boom is in full swing. So why have Western countries stopped pushing EVs? Many people still interpret this issue from the perspective of energy theory, giving two main explanations. First, Western countries are not short of oil, so why bother developing EVs? Second, 100+ years ago, the West tried electric cars and found them uninteresting. From an energy perspective, oil is still easier to obtain. Because of this, many people mock China's electric vehicles, saying China is going against the times, creating a backward product. But in reality, the future direction of automobiles is not about energy competition, nor is it primarily about environmental needs. It is to accommodate the rise of AI. In the past, we talked about Internet Plus, and China actually 实现 edit across almost every sector, from food to housing to transportation. The West, however, is still behind in payments. For example, they're still juggling cash and cards. The next upgrade is toward full AI integration. And so far, one hard requirement is clear. Everything must be powered by electricity. For example, if I want to develop AI, you bring me a kerosene lamp, I cannot give it AI capabilities. You bring a firewood stove, I still cannot give it AI capabilities. You bring a horn you blow with your mouth, there is no way to make it intelligent. Likewise, you bring me a gasoline car, I cannot give it AI functions. Why is China's AI development already surpassing the United States? Because once energy shifts to electricity, everything can become AI-enabled. And even if the US has more advanced AI theories, without a practical application ecosystem, heroes have nowhere to use their strengths. Within a few years, they're no different from ordinary people. The Eurostat and Europe are not afraid of Chinese EVs taking their markets. If they're not afraid, then why defend themselves so desperately? The reason is simple. They fear that through EVs, China will transform their energy systems and thus take control over their countries. What are the US and Europe short of today? Electricity. Even if they open their markets, Chinese EVs wouldn't sell much. So what are they afraid of? Because the Chinese way of doing things is frighteningly thorough. If you allow Chinese EVs in, next comes the Chinese power grid. Then ultra-high voltage transmission lines, transmission problems would be solved. But what if you don't have enough power generation? Then China will help you rearrange your rivers, mountains, deserts, hydropower, wind power, desert photovoltaics, all rolled out in waves. The existing Western energy industry would collapse completely. Electricity would cost 1 cent per kilowatt-hour, basically free, leading Western citizens straight towards socialism. This is the real fear of Europe and the US. China is already doing this in Southeast Asia. Local governments say, you can sell EVs, but our people don't even have electricity to cook with. Where will we charge your cars? China responds, don't worry, leave the rest to us. The West gave you darkness, China will bring you light. Western countries have done too much harm, so whenever they develop a new technology, their first instinct is, how can we use this to control another nation? Everything in their hands becomes technology built for exploitation, and crime is the core logic. So they assume China is the same. To resist China, they've taken extreme measures, almost returning to the primitive age. Take Europe. When Chinese EVs arrived, China offered to sell them for 15,000 euros. Europe refused and raised the price to 50,000 euros. Even then, Chinese cars were still better, and the public still wanted to buy them. What did European governments do? They destroyed their own energy systems, shut down nuclear plants, shut down coal plants, shut down hydropower, and blocked Chinese solar. Their message to citizens, see, EVs are useless, we don't have electricity. Without electricity, ordinary people burn firewood in winter. The wealthier ones still have lighting, refugees have none. Why do refugees in Europe have so many children, 5 per family? Because when night comes, There's no electricity, nothing else to do in the darkness but make babies. Because of severe power shortages, AI projects cannot proceed. EV charging stations cannot be built. To resist China, they choose darkness. Meanwhile, Asia is actively adjusting, following China's industrial roadmap. Vietnam even issued a motorcycle ban. In 5 years, major cities will forbid fuel-powered motorcycles. This is a massive national transformation. Japan panicked. Their embassy wrote to Vietnam. Warning, you'll lose jobs, and you don't have enough electricity. Of course, Japan panicked. Vietnam's fuel motorcycles are dominated by Japan. If Vietnam bans fuel bikes and develops its own F brands, Japan's entire motorcycle and auto presence in Vietnam collapses. Honda alone just invested $4.6 billion to build the largest motorcycle factory in Asia. Now it's worthless. Vietnam follows China's development model. Worried about electricity, China will handle it. Vietnam trusts Chinese electricity. Why not? Electricity costs only around 4 cents. Cable buying power is cheaper than generating it. Vietnam calls itself Little China. What do they have to worry about? Following China is beneficial for Vietnam. They cannot win in the fuel motorcycle or fuel car markets. But with electrification, they can finally get a share of the meat. Even if shared with China, it is still meat. And once their energy structure changes, they too can step onto the AI development path. China is beginning similar efforts in Africa, mostly solar for now. Enough for household appliances and e-bikes. Though widespread adoption will take time. Vietnam is different. They have centralized state power. If the government bans fuel vehicles, they can enforce it. In Western democracies, a decade of arguing wouldn't get it done. The West chooses darkness not because the people are ignorant, but because capital resists change. They are too used to lying down and making money. Switching to new energy vehicles means giving up their past privileges and rebuilding from scratch, requiring massive investment and courage. Vietnam, following China, has that courage. No vested interests block the way. Everything is done for national and public benefit. Only by following China can they embrace the light.